Good evening, folks. Tonight, we're going to talk about something that I don't know if any of you have ever heard of or have ever done any research on. But it's actually based on the song Good King Wenceslas. Now, I'm going to read, obviously we all know certain things about Good King Wenceslas. The song Good King Wenceslas. It's a very fun song. It's probably one of my most favorite Christmas songs. But he was born, the story behind Good King Wenceslas, we'll kind of go through that. And then we'll kind of read a few little verses on there about why that actually occurred. Now, Wenceslas was he was in charge, he was not even a king. He was actually a duke. We'll put that there. But it was after his death when technically they ruled him a king. We'll get into that part. Now, Wenceslas, Duke of Bohemia, is actually in the Czech Republic, in Prague. So if you actually want to see his statue, go to Prague, and you can actually see a statue. I think it's in Prague. I'll have to look at that again. But if you look up Wenceslas and just look at a statue, it should show where it's at, actually, and it's pretty cool. And I looked that up. So, now the story behind the Duke of Wenceslas, Duke of Bohemia, he was born in 907 and then died in 935. And then the reign was from February 13th, 921 and September 28th, 935. His parents were, father was Wenceslas, Duke of Bohemia, and mother Dromira, and younger brother Boleslas, Duke of Bohemia. Grandmother was Ludmilla of Bohemia. Now, in 921, when Duke was 13, he would have been 14 a little later. We're unsure when he was born, actually, because they never really gave a birth date. But when he was 13, going on 14, his dad died. And his grandmother, Ludmilla of Bohemia, took the regent, and which is another form of command, a high above, like king or queen or another form of that, but not really. So she took over. Now, there's a little evilness in this story, actually. Dromira was not a Christian. She was an atheist. She didn't believe in Christianity. She absolutely hated Christianity. Now, where she got all this evilness from, I don't know. I have yet to figure that part out. Now, with that being said, Dromira London was a Catholic. It's pretty much what always wanted. She was pretty much jealous because Ludmilla of Bohemia, which was his grandma, had so much influence on Wenceslas, and that Dromira wanted to kill her. So Dromira arranged Ludmilla of Bohemia to be killed so that she would take the throne. Sounds simple, right? Well, it happened. Ludmilla was at Teton Castle near Biron, and the assassins murdered her by strangling her with a veil. After her death, she was first buried at the Church of St. Michael, then relocated to the Church of St. George in Prague, which Wenceslas' father built. And most likely Wenceslas is the one who took him over there. Dromira immediately assumed the role of regent and immediately issued anti-Christian measures against Christians. And in other words, they burned down churches and burned down anything that looked like a Christian measure. That was pretty much anything like a church. They banished churches, banished anyone who was a Christian out of the city. Nothing could look like a church. You couldn't hold a church service in that town. That's pretty much what it looked like. But when Wenceslas was 18, he was 14 later on that year, but when Wenceslas was 18, there was at least a few Christians who remained there under cover, obviously. They came and stood behind Wenceslas and did a little attack, not necessarily a war type thing, but pretty much, rebelled against his mother and were successful. Wenceslas then banished his mother and sent her to Budek. Sent her there, and she died there. She was put in exile there in Budek till her death in 934. Only 1 year later, his brother, Wenceslas, Duke of Bohemia, wanted to assassinate him due to his jealousies. Now, who knows exactly? Now, with this going on through this time frame, he took the reins in 925 to be precise. Now, that all occurred in 925. So, but to make things known of this, he pretty much made it all set in stone. Because when he was pretty much made it all perfectly clear what he planned on doing. He was 28 when he died. Now his brother pretty much wanted to make it perfectly clear, was kind of not happy with the outcome that he wanted. He wanted a full state, like where everything was in, but with the people who supported his mother, he wanted it cut off. Anti-Christians on one side and Christians on the other. So the country, he didn't want a war, so he cut the country in, so he cut Bohemia in half. Part of Bohemia on one, part of Bohemia on the other. So they accepted Wenceslas. Now, Wenceslas, who pretty much, we all know how Wenceslas was. You know how St. Stephen's Day on the 26th. Next time you sing Good King Wenceslas, think of on the 26th, which is St. Stephen's Day. There at the very beginning of Good King Wenceslas. I'll explain that here in just a moment when I finish with this. Duke of Bohemia, Boleslas, the first Duke of Bohemia, wanted to assassinate him on September 28th, 935. Boleslas invited Wenceslas to his place for a feast for the Saints Calmas and Domania. Three of Boleslas's companions who plotted to kill Wenceslas were Tira, T-I-R-A, Tura, Sesta, and Hundvas, H-N-E-V-S-A. The three noblemen fell on top of Wenceslas and stabbed him to death. His brother Boleslas ran him through with a lance, officially ending his life. But after his death, they honored him and technically crowned him as a king after his death. Therefore, that's where they got the name Good King. Despite him never being a king in his time being there, he was only a duke. They still crowned him as a king. Now, let's get on with how this song became a thing. The song wasn't even a Christmas song. It was actually, from the very beginning, it wasn't even a Christmas song. It all started in Finland. A Finnish songwriter in 1582 A Finnish songwriter, Jacobus Fennel, wrote a calls in Latin named Telmus Adis Floridium. English translation, Easter time has come. It was pretty much a spring type of thing. Then in 1853, British hymn writer John Mason Neale rewrote the song into Christmas ladders. The day after Christmas, the 26th, is the day you celebrate St. Stephen's Day. So now, 647 years later, obviously, and 271 years later, Good King Wenceslas has written and is celebrated to this day. So now, with that being said, we're going to talk about how Good King Wenceslas is celebrated. Now, if you think about how, Good King Wenceslas looked out on the feast of Stephen, we'll kind of go through, how the song is sung, okay? Well, first off, we'll sing it. Like the first paragraph. Good King Wenceslas looked out on the feast of Stephen, when the snow lay round about, deep and crisp and even. Brightly shone the moon that night, through the cross was cruel, when a poor man came and sighed, gathering winter fuel. Okay, now we got the first line one. Now, if you see how that was sung, Good King, what do we normally think of kings? Evil people, rulers. We think of them as dictators. This guy wasn't really that bad of a person. You see how this was? He looked out on the feast of Stephen, when the snow lay round about, deep and crisp and even. Obviously, he was walking through the snow. Bright shone the moon that night, though the frost was cruel, cold. When a poor man came in sight, gathering winter fuel. I mean, it's probably gathering probably wood. Now, we come on to the other part. I'm going to sing that paragraph. Hither, page, and stand by me, if you know telling yonder peasant who is he, where and what is dwelling. Sorry leaves a league hence, neither the mountain ride against the forest by Alright, now, and a fountain. Now, hither page, meaning and stand by me, meaning hey, come stand by me. He's saying, come stand by me. If thou knowst, is telling yonder peasant, who is he? Meaning, I don't know this person or this peasant, because he's the noble duke. He's the highest in charge. He knows everything. Who is this person? I don't know this person. He could have easily been like nowadays, get out of here. I don't want anything to do with you. But no, like all those other kings that were bad people. But he didn't. He said, I know who you are. Come here. Then the next paragraph, I'm not going to sing, I'm just going to read it. Bring me flesh and bring me wine. Bring me pine logs hither. Though I shall see him dine when we bear them thither. Page and monarch, forth they went forth together. Through the rude wind's wild lament and bitter weather. Sire, the night is darker now, and when is blow stronger. Fails my heart, I not know why. I can go no longer. Alright, let's see here. Bring me flesh and bring me wine. Okay, obviously bring me wine, so let's have a drink. Yeah. Now let's see what hither. Though I shall see him dine when we bear them thither. Okay, let's all sit together. That's meaning what that means right there. Page and monarch. Okay, we switch to page, and now we're sitting together, and the monarch with him. The monarch is sitting together, and a stranger and a peasant is sitting with us. Forth they went forth together. They came in with them. Through the rude winds laid lament and bitter weather. Cold. Cold winter winds is pretty much what that is. Now, sire, the night is darker. Now the wind blows stronger. Very stiff wind colds. Fails my heart. I know why I can go no longer. Meaning, like, I can't see this. I can't take this any longer. Mark my footsteps on my page. Meaning, keep this saying that I'm the better guy. Tread thou in them boldly. Thou shalt in the winter's rage. Freeze thy blood less coldly. Meaning, you can't really make it cold, but you can make it that way. Then, in his master's step, he trod where the snow lay dented. Meaning, he saw the footsteps where a horse went, and he tried to walk. Meaning, he saw not necessarily a horse, but he saw where a human was walking, so he followed those footsteps and tried to walk into those same footsteps. He was in the very sod which the saint had printed before. Therefore, Christian men be sure to wealth, or rank possessing, yea, who now will bless the poor, shall yourselves find blessings. There you have it. That, there, is how Good King Wenceslas lost. Now, if you read, he's pretty much well saying, he was in very sod, pretty much well shows how it lined up very strong and together. The pretty much well shows, hey, the poor shall yourselves find blessings. He's pretty much well saying, the poor will find blessings now that they found the loved ones. And it's true. They pretty much well did. Now, with that being said, we all know how things work together. I mean, when you work on things that you thought could work, but it turned out they didn't work out after all, that's how you look at it. When things work out for you, I mean, that's how Good King Wenceslas worked out. There's another Christmas, and this song has been translated into different languages. And this also goes with World War I. The truce. The British would sing Good King Wenceslas, because this is where it came from, was Great Britain. The British would sing Good King Wenceslas, and while the French would sing O Holy Night, and the Germans would sing Silent Night, because Silent Night originally came from Germany, Austria technically, but the French, O Holy Night was originally from France, and so 3 different tunes from the trenches. They traded prisoners and played soccer for at least 3 days, just exchanged whiskey, beer, acted like there was no even more going on for one day. This is the 1914 Christmas truce. They exchanged gifts, exchanged prisoners. Hey, let's have a beer. They all had a beer like nothing went on. And that is what happened on the Christmas truce. Good King Wenceslas was sung, and so was Silent Night by the Germans, and plenty of other songs were sung. Well, I got some more. If you got any other good Christmas songs you want, I'm gonna try to sing Good King Wenceslas harmonized in 4 different parts. I've been trying to do that for a while, but so far I've been unsuccessful. Ugh. Well, with that being said, I'm out of here. Hit the like bell, hit the like button, hit the bell for notifications. With that being said, I'm out of here. Peace.